Hello everyone, my name is Christina. Welcome to my all Dazzle Dry stamped French manicure video. We're jumping right in here and I am applying a coat of the base coat to my naked nails. I did let the base coat warm up in a cup of, a little hotter than warm water, just a little bit more than that. Then I went in with a coat of Transform. And Transform is technically a rich filler, but I use it more because I really love the more plump, very glossy, very smooth look of traditional polishes. And Dazzle Dry does dry down very, very thin, so it can tend to show any ridges or any imperfections in my nails. And so just a couple of coats of Transform works great for this. So I did one coat of Transform, let that dry for 5 whole minutes, and then now I'm going in with my second coat of Transform. And I find Transform to be a really great color even on its own if you don't want to, add any additional color for your French manicure. In fact, the last French manicure that I didn't put any additional color on besides just the white tip. So you can definitely get by with just the Transform if you like. I mean, look at it. It's so smooth and glossy. It looks beautiful just on its own. But for this one, I let it dry 5 minutes. And then I came in with a really, really pretty sheer pink color called Peacefully Me. So here I am applying Peacefully Me. And it is a very, very sheer pink. In fact, it's beautiful on its own, just as sort of like a nude look. But I really have to build up many layers to really get lots of color. So it's perfect for a French manicure. And it just looks beautiful right on top. I'm going to let this dry for 5 minutes before I do anything else. And while I'm waiting for it to dry, I'm going to use a latex barrier. This one is from Glisten and Glow. You can use whatever latex barrier you want, or even get some of those like latex-free kind of stickers that protect your skin when you're doing nail stamping. This is just the one that I've had for years, so I just continue to use it. But basically, it's going to protect the skin as I do my white tips so that I don't have as much cleanup to do later. I'm going to let this dry until kind of like all of it has turned a darker pink. You can see like over on my left hand, that's a little more dry. It's dark pink. It's a little more wet on my right hand. So here we go. For the stamping itself, you're going to need a few different things. My favorite plate for French manicures is this one. It's from Maniology, and this is the 403 plate. I think it's called like Clouds and Stars French or something like that. You need a scraper. This is the one from Maniology. In fact, it comes with the stamper, which is something you also need. A clear stamper is preferred, so you'll probably want to get these two together. We have the stamping lacquer. I'm going to be using the Dazzle Dry because I'm trying to do my entire manicure with Dazzle Dry polishes. All right, this feels really dry. It's ready to start stamping. So here we go. So we're going to work fairly quickly. You want to make sure your stamper has the cover off of it and it's ready to go. You also need your scraper nearby. I've got my Dazzle Dry stamping lacquer. I'm just applying that, a generous amount of that polish. And then as I scrape, I'm keeping my scraper pretty low. Like the angle is really low, and I'll just pick this up. And now you can see that's on the stamper. I've got some breaks in the polish, like it didn't pick up completely. So we're gonna try to get one that picks up completely. So I'm gonna come back over to this little thing, and this is when I can just do that, and it cleans off my stamper. Super easy to do that. And then this is when having the cotton ball comes into play, because you need to clean off the plate between each stamp. So now I'm going to come back in and try that again. Plenty of polish, scrape, and then I can just roll to pick that up. That one looks a little bit better. And I like how that looks, so I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna line that up. Sorry if it's a little hard to see. Line that up. And then come down and just stamp that onto my nail. you can see how that pink barrier catches a lot of that polish. But there we go. That's the first tip. Put a bunch of polish down, holding the angle of my scraper really low. And that was a really clean pickup. I'm gonna stamp it like this so I can really see my nail. And I'll just get that tip. And it is really like a micro tip. It's so teeny tiny. Now I think I want it to kind of match the perceived length of the nail next to it. So I'm actually going to stamp again. And let's do that one a second time. Holding my scraper really low once again. Pick that up pretty quickly. And I'm gonna come in, try to get it just a little bit lower this time. There we go. Yeah, those match a little bit more now. Holding my scraper very low once again. That just helps me get a really solid impression on that. Got to tip my stamper up a different direction this time. Get that centered right on my nail. And kind of rock it back and forth. And there we go. You can also kind of even out those edges. So that went really fast and easy, right? I'm gonna go ahead and do my other hand now. Is peel all of the latex barrier off. Okay, so not bad. Just gonna do a little cleanup and then we can do the rest of the top coats and stuff. So I just have a little container of acetone, labeled it. And I like to use an angled eyebrow brush. And I just get it a little bit wet and then I can come in just really easily clean up whatever needs to be cleaned up. Okay, after everything's kind of had a chance to dry, I'm going to go back to the base coat. So, and when I say had a chance to dry, really it was just the time that I was cleaning up. So I'm going back to the Dazzle Dry base coat, which I don't think really smears the stamping. I haven't tried it too many times, but from what I've seen, it hasn't smeared the stamping. I'm gonna make sure I cap those tips as well. And we're going to do a coat of base coat, let that dry, and then I'm going to do a coat of Peacefully Me one more time. That just helps to tone down the stark, bright whiteness of the tip. If you love that, go ahead and just do your top coat. After you apply the base coat, do your top coat. But you really don't want to forget the base coat. This base coat here is what's going to help prevent smearing of that white tip or any of your stamping. So don't forget to do this base coat. But you could just put a top coat right on top and be done if you want. But I'm going to do a coat of Peacefully Me. I thought I'd try that out this time just to see if it will soften that white just a little bit more. All right, so that is the one coat of base coat, which kind of smoothed things out quite a bit, but things are going to get even smoother as I put my Peacefully Me and top coat on top as well. I'm probably going to wait about 5 minutes. Coming in with Peacefully Me, it's been about 4 minutes. So I'm going to come and do a coat of Peacefully Me right over all of that. Making sure to cap that tip. Yeah, I like how that looks. It softens the white just a tiny, tiny bit. I'm now going to let this dry for a full 5 minutes before I go in with top coat. So now, as with all of my Dazzle Dry manicures, I'm going to go in with 2 coats of top coat without waiting in between for anything to dry. I'm finishing up my first top coat. And the reason I do 2 top coats is because I find that it keeps the very glossy shine longer when there's 2 top coats. I'll close up my top coat really, really tight. And then here we are. Here is my Dazzle Dry Stamped French Manicure. All Dazzle Dry products except for the stamper and the stamping plate and things like that. All the polishes were Dazzle Dry. And this should last, I mean, I'll probably wear it for 5 to 7 days. I like to only wear my Dazzle Dry manicures for about 7 days because then I have too much growth in it. I want it to look more fresh. So there we go. I'm gonna let this dry. Dazzle Dry is very, very dry after about 5 minutes. But when I've done so many coats, I find that needs a little extra time to really dry down completely. So I'm probably going to set a timer for 20 minutes. I can listen to a podcast, I can watch a YouTube video, I can occupy my time for 20 minutes, and then I'm good to go. Here's what they look like after they've dried. I've put oil on around my cuticles, on my fingertips. Everything's looking great. They're super glossy. I love how that looks. So thanks for joining me for my Dazzle Dry Stamped French Manicure. Love how this turned out. I think it's going to be a favorite for this year.